everyone, welcome to What Went Down. I'm Craig, aka Mr. Impact Blog from the TNAIW channel, and as you can see, I'm once again joined by the co-host of the Talking Nonsense for Impact Wrestling podcast, Jeff.
Yeah, mouthful. All right, yeah, and we're here. A lot to talk about. I'm excited just to get this out of the way. I know we talked about it, but little issue on Impact on Twitch last night threw me off. Obviously, if you guys followed other live tweets, it obviously was self-explanatory. That was me. So I went back and watched what I could. I'll make assessments based on what I did actually see, but still looked like a good show. And I'm excited to talk about it. Obviously, here in the States, we don't get to watch on Impact Plus until Saturday, I think, Sunday, something like that. So, yeah, it's going to be a rough week for me. I'm going to cry inside a little bit.
Fortunately for us, it goes up on Wednesday morning, so
right.
All good.
So you're lucky. So you'll be giving more descriptive details on this one.
Certainly will. So let's just get straight into it, and we opened up with a brawl backstage between Willie Mack and Eric Young. Not surprising, because what happened last week, but
right, yeah, I liked that the brawl happened first. I think one, it's a hot shot way to start the show. We always talk about it, or have talked about it before, of not just having talking segment or not just having recap. Let's have something that, let's get it right into it and set the tone. And I thought it did a great job of doing that. It didn't make Willie look bad, especially since he was leading most of the brawl. EY looked crazy as usual, which is wonderful. I like what they're doing with him, because I think we talked about that as well, at least on the Slammiversary one, or maybe right after. But World Class Maniac, pile driving, and taking people's legs is kind of the EY that we love.
Sure.
But, neither looked bad, even though Willie lost. Obviously, we see why Willie lost the Impact X Division title. They got some other plans for him. And he's avenging his friend who is injured still, or retired, excuse me. So instant storyline right there. For any other reason, the match was solid. Nice, hard-hitting match, a feud match, which I like. I hate when there's blood feuds and it's just, hip toss and, a suplex. That's not what if a blood feud would be. I think the technicality would go out the window, and that's what it did. It was still a good match. I enjoyed it. But I like the continuity. If anything else, the match could have sucked, and it was just nice to see that, okay, Willie's friend is stepping up for him. Eddie Edwards is already stepping up for him. So it's a general booking mindset that I really enjoyed with this.
Yeah, I mean, completely agree, because the beginning felt very TNA-ish to me. I liked that. I enjoyed the brawls at the beginning of the shows, and obviously straight into the match afterwards, no hesitation.
Right.
But yeah, both looked great. Willie showing that he has that edge that people thought he was missing.
Right.
Always EY being back is great.
Yeah, I still think at this point, I still think it's going to take a little bit for Willie to figure out, or them to figure out what they're going to do with him, in the sense of where his character goes or becomes, or evolves to. But yeah, you're right. It showed a different side of him, which was cool.
Yeah, good match, story, perfect.
What's the verdict? Yeah, I'm same. I'm right there with you. I did get to see this, and you're right. It's very TNA-ish, which seems to be a lot of the old fans are coming back. Stuff like this does really help them feel like they never left in a way, especially Eric.
Exactly. Then, just very small, quick thing that carries on throughout the night. The Good Brothers are on the search for Ace Austin and Madman Fulton, but come across Matt Striker this time.
Yeah, I didn't get to see that. Well, he worked, backstage. I guess he was eliminated quickly off his Rub in a Cup show. So I guess he's back there, which is cool on a personal level. I dig Matt Stryker. I think he's a good hand, especially backstage with producing and commentary as well. I hope we get him a chance to shine, even though we have, for the first time, I feel like a Rolodex of great commentators, which is nice.
Sure.
And not enough time. But yeah, I guess we'll bunch these all together like we do at Wrestle House. Yeah. I'm going to give it a thumbs up. Simply because of what we talked about, I think a couple weeks ago when they debuted, which is they don't need to have a match every week or any week and still feel big and important and continue their rise to the top, even though I think they kind of already started there.
Yeah.
I won't get too far because obviously I think we're going to touch with the Rascals thing later with them. Okay. But what I will say is that I was very happy to hear Scott D'Amore say that they're having a Hall and Nash-like feeling about them, which is, obviously I mentioned on the show last week or the one before. And it's exactly what it feels like, is that these are two big guys who are coming in, who know very little about them in the sense of what they represent now. Okay, yeah, we know a lot about them from Bullet Club and ROH and New Japan and WWE, but this is an opportunity for them to kind of, you don't know what version you're getting of them, and be backstage and kind of be in that middle tweener. You don't know if are they bad guys because they're angry and then, obviously what happens later, or are they good guys, So I think there's a bigger play here. Really exciting because once again, it's another thing that doesn't, what would you say combined the segment was? All of their segment? 2 minutes? 3 minutes?
Yeah.
And
tops, I think.
Right. And not including the Rascals thing. So it's just a smart way to take the hour and 24 minutes or whatever they have, taking away commercials, to put these guys over in 4 minutes. It's a great thing, and that's a sign of star power, of having that.
Yeah, completely agree. I would like to maybe see them in one more match, but they're on TV. They get people talking. They're building the hype for Impact again. They're playing great agents.
Yeah.
So thumbs up.
Yeah, Agents GA, thumbs up. The one thing I do want to mention is I think your thought of them having another match is what we'll be talking about shortly. So I think there'll be another feeder there, but yeah.
Then we go straight on to Wrestle House, which has, I believe, 4 segments this show.
Yeah. I think I saw 3 of the 4. So I'll be honest on what I did see and what I did like or did not like. How can you not? I know how people cannot like it, and to each their own. Each person has a different type of wrestling that they enjoy. I think Impact does an amazing job of encompassing all of those likes, and I love Wrestle House. So it's going to be hard for me just to say, oh, that was shitty. The whole segments, all the segments are bad. I'll start what I didn't like and then move on there. I wrote this down specifically, so I get it. The only real thing that, I could take the comedy missing here and there. It is what it is. It's a wrestling show. You laugh at it or don't. It's humorous. Doesn't need to be, insert famous Dave Chappelle or somebody. It doesn't need to be that level of comedy. It serves its purpose, even if it's childish sometimes. But the one thing I did not like was out of context. If you were to watch the Susie match, or out of context if you were to watch the Larry and AC match, very short. I can't say there's no point to these matches, because for squash matches, and I'm saying that by time allotted, they have a point. They have a purpose. It's to settle the feud that's in Wrestle House, and or the little, who's got the runs or who doesn't, but out of context, those matches aren't good. I think we could be okay. I think we could say that there's no the heat's there in the sense of we know why they're fighting and the purpose, and I enjoy that. But to me, it's not a feud or not passionate. It's just is what it is. So if you throw that aside and just say, okay, Taya's making everyone watch the greatest hits of Taya. Rosemary and Steve are having a DK wink at their, which was phenomenal. The jealousy, the including of a Larry D, like as we said, just kind of giving these people an opportunity or little segments that are going to elevate their character without them stepping in the ring. So in that regards, the ring is secondary. But at the same time, I would like to see maybe a good match or two. But I think it's going to be hard to do that in that showcase.
Yeah. Again, I love Russell House. I think, yeah, like I said last week, you can't please everybody. You just take it for what it is. And what it was just some great segments. Obviously, yeah, my opinion, and obviously a few other people's as well. But I think, yeah, I agree with the match sense is that maybe there needs to be, if they can try and squeeze in a longer match. I think maybe that's happening next week.
Right.
We'll get a long
Taya and Kylie, right?
Has to be.
See, that's the part I missed, the setup for that.
Yeah. It wasn't really much. It was just Taya, of Kylie saying that Taya isn't being fair and
okay,
get herself over basically, and just and it's Helen in the ring said Ty said she'll face her next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, together would be a good match, so maybe we'll hold judgment for that part of it. But even with that said, I'm not here or here. I'm still thumbs up. I can't.
Yeah.
It's too entertaining and I won't say revolutionary, but different, unique to not like it for me.
Sure. And it got Tommy Dreamer more screen time, so
that's what we need. Oh, I do want to make a mention. I think Potatoes is going to be a joke that runs on with Impact for quite a while. I mean, that was a funny moment. Crazy Steve, they're letting him bring his personality and character to the thing. So I thought that was awesome. No.
Yeah, sure. You get to see both sides of Crazy Steve. So you've got to see the K side, now get to see the humorous side.
Right. Yeah.
And then just very short segment backstage with Reno Scum attacking Rhino to get the money back for Hernandez. Wasn't much. Just for me, it's a middle. It's fine.
I'm there.
It was.
I don't know how much we could beat the dead horse, but once again, it's nice to have continuity. It's nice to have roles and these people having little storylines, even if they weren't used for much. So 30-second little thing there went a long way. I like the continuation of that story. Once again, I like Rhino since I was young. I like Hernandez as in LAX since I was young, and I like this incarnation of. But once again, do we want to see them wrestle a 15-minute slugfest? No, we don't. But can we put them in these cinematic situations to make it exciting? Yes, we can. And for them to fight over the same money roll for, 4 weeks now? Plus, it's been enjoyable, and it's been different, and I don't know where it's going. I thought I did. Maybe it will, because now Reno Scum is attacking Rhino, which would put Heath and Rhino together and continue from there. Because Reno Scum seems to be the enhancement talent when it comes to the tag team division. Happened with the Good Brothers. I imagine it's going to happen with them. I think Heath and Rhino will get quite a few wins if they do tag up. I won't get too far ahead, but I think they will. There's more to the story. I'll say that.
Yeah, I can definitely see Heath being added in at some point to this feud.
Right.
So, yeah, not much I can say. Not much else I can say on that. Is what it was. Good enough. Carried on another storyline.
If you don't
All
like
good.
it, you won't even.
So then the second match of the night, the knockouts, Kimberly versus Jordan Grace.
The
Love the
evolution
match.
of Kimberly is upon us, and I don't know if it's so much an evolution, but at least hers an impact, going from I guess COVID spot talent that they needed to fill some spots with, to full-time contracted wrestler and knockout. Um, I long term, I think her signing is going to look like I don't want to say a steal by any means, but I think it didn't get the respect it deserved at the time. And that's part in the circumstance of her, she came in and she wasn't winning really. She was just doing what she was doing. But once again, we see two good matches, although TV matches, which 7 minutes, six, whatever it is, where she gets the upper hand or gets to show her wrestling ability and what she can do within those 7 minutes. First, it was Deonna. We had a good match with her. Now we have a good match with Jordan. The common connector here is Kimberly, and I'm happy to see. I'm happy to see that. I'm happy to get her shine. I really would love to see, especially after what we got with Jordan and Deonna at the pay-per-view, a three-way with these girls. I think would be insane.
Oh, yes.
But I won't jump. Once again, I won't jump ahead.
Right.
So I'll hold my thoughts.
Yeah, great match. Kimberly just keeps going to another level each week. I've made it clear that I didn't really know much about her before she came in, but each week she's impressing me more and more. I know that means next to nothing from me, but it's from what I can see of her, it's really looking good. Yeah,
it does matter because like we said, my memory's shit, but I'll say last week, like we said last week, we do too many of these shows, man. We got that. But like we said, for you not to know much about her prior to her just to get thrown into Impact, and then now every week you're like, oh, I look forward to seeing what she does next. That's all we could ask for, and that does matter because there's that, as we like to say, the needle mover there. It's moving the needle for your liking of her, and that's a real big thing when you have so much talent and so little time to execute that she's one of those things that's shining for you. So I think it's a big deal. Oh, thumbs up.
Over my head then for a second.
Yeah, right person won. Jordan Grace, it was her match to lose. She won. Good match, good setup. Continue the storyline. I like it.
And the match coming up at Emergence is going to be epic. Then, honestly, my favorite segment, locker room talk, with Katie Forbes and Rob Van Dam. Even though it was more chaotic this week, it was
right.
entertaining.
What do you say about that, man? It's hard to, especially when I do my power rankings. And once again, obviously, power rankings will be at the end. If you guys want to sign up and be part of the power ranking committee, write us and we'll get you set up weekly. But looking at when I'm doing my power rankings, like my personal ticket for it, it's hard for me to say that two characters who really didn't wrestle or pick up a win or look better than anyone else, it's hard for them to put them on the list. I was glad that they're last week. And the point I'm making with this is they don't have to wrestle, just like Good Brothers. They're not wrestling. They are entertaining. And in a world where we're heading more towards that, Impact does amazing pay-per-views where it's wrestling and dope wrestling and some of the best in the world. On a weekly basis, they're entertaining us in continuing things that get us hyped for those pay-per-views. It feels a little old school and good to see the build-ups. But with that being said, they probably haven't had a match in 3-4 months. well, not Katie. Katie had her
Yeah,
little
Rob.
battle royal. But Rob, I just think, for someone who wasn't an RVD fan for a while, for me, a block of time, um, this just rejuvenates it for me. I could go on and on about them, but they're very entertaining. I thought, once again, we're using a platform that Impact has created, no matter if it's Wrestle House or Locker Room Talk, to where we once again expand Impact's universe. Um, so it's another commodity for us to look forward to. So I always enjoy it. I loved Madison running away as soon as they started messing around, and I liked Sammy surprising us and coming in. So well done, enjoyable. Um, I love locker room talk. There's nothing wrong with it.
I wasn't a big fan of Locker Room Talk when it first started, but
Right.
like most things, as it went on, it got better and better each week. And this week,
Yeah.
hands down, not week, but every so often when we get the episodes, a quick segment of Locker Room Talk. And
Right.
plus the quick Heath at the beginning, I really enjoyed that.
Oh
Sammy
yeah.
coming in, Heath trying to get himself on Impact. Yeah,
Which did it ring you weird where he doesn't have money to feed his kids, but he could pay for he could pay for. I guess you got to spend money to make money, but other than that, it's enjoyable. I actually was asked what I thought about you when I saw that. Do you does that give you a red flag of him going back to that character that you're familiar with him of, or that we're familiar with him of, or do you think it's just something to get him to that next step?
I enjoyed it for what it was, but I truthfully didn't give much thought to it going back to that.
Okay.
So now thinking about it slightly, but I think I trust Impact that they won't let him go too far back.
Gotcha. I'm there with you. Trust is the key word.
Then very, not short, but not overly long. The Rascals and Moose backstage. Well, start off with the Rascals, then Moose came involved and offered Trey a TNA World title shot, but thought it was suicide.
Right. Yeah. So did he offer Suicide one or did he offer Trey one?
Trey's got it.
Trey's got it. I can see this being a ploy to put EC3 under the mask, and do something like that where EC3 is Suicide and he wins. Not that he is Suicide on the regular basis, but that's the play on it. As Moose said, third time's the charm. This is Trey's third title shot within months, within a month. So I like that if they're going to stick to giving him a push, they're sticking with it. They're not giving up on him. Do I think he's world title material right this moment? No, not for me. I know not for you, not to speak for you, but I think I know where you're at. Anytime I get the Rascals on my television, I'm excited. I like that the Wednesday thing with the free EC3 shirt or the hoodie. It is what it is. It was enjoyable. I love Moose's character. I love the Rascals being more playful again. But something seems off with them. But thumbs up. Did what it was supposed to do. Set up a match for later and was short and sweet.
Yeah, I'm there with you. I mean, the Rascals, some definitely feels like something's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure what, but I can't see Trey sticking in that group too much longer. Tired. Words aren't working.
Yeah, something's got to happen. Obviously we won't jump because we're a review show, but it's hard not to chat about it. I originally thought Dez was actually behind it because they pushed so much to Wentz, that Dez was the one that found him each time. It seemed like, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do take Trey out of that group, that he turns, and maybe it was him the whole time just trying to get his way back into the match or something. I don't know the title picture.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I completely get where you come from with that. something does feel like something's up between the group, but they're entertaining as hell.
Yeah.
Wentz being a little bit freaked out with the suicide mask at first. Brilliant.
Yeah. Do you think
Yeah.
Wentz is suicide?
No, I'm still saying Caleb Connolly.
I agree with you. But yeah, do you think we're going to get a reveal of suicide and that's something that will play down the road though?
I think so, yeah, because cause I'm thinking now, we'll see the current person wrestling or suicide also won the mask. Johnny Swingers won the mask, and now Trey's won the mask.
Yeah, something's got. Yeah, walks like a duck, talks like a duck. It's a duck. Yeah, we'll see. I love the Rascals. So I hope they don't break up, but they need a little something. So we'll see what happens from there. I guess. Thumbs up though. Yeah.
Then, very short, very sweet, Deonna Purrazzo challenged Jordynne Grace to a 30-minute Iron Man match for the Knockouts title at Night 1 of Emergence. Oh, that popped me.
Yeah, because you wouldn't have got this match if it wasn't for this regime. And of course, that's obvious. We would have got none of this if it wasn't for this regime. But those are the type of matches, especially with those two quality of wrestlers who maybe not at the tapings afterwards, maybe it wasn't a point to keep them going. Maybe it wasn't a point to give them a 30-minute Iron knockout man, woman match, whatever if you want to call it. But because management recognized that it was that was a good match at Slammiversary, they have chemistry, let's keep this going and up the ante. And if they didn't, this was the plan all along, good for them. But to see them in a 30-minute Iron Man match, that's a match. That's something that gets you excited. It's something that pops you, like you said. To see them wrestle alone again for 10 minutes is nice, but to have as many falls in 30 is beautiful. For this alone, I put Deonna on my rankings. And, I don't want to spoil anything. Obviously, we'll play the rankings after this as we do. But there's a lot of women on these rankings. It's a lot of knockouts. Yeah. And rightfully so. Because out of all the matches so far that have been announced or hinted towards, this is the one that I'm ready for.
Oh, yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, it's going to be... I love them. They're both knockouts. I think the match... Iron Man is... cannot wait to see it because it's going to be technical, but they'll both kick ass.
Right. I would love to see them not get a pin until I love that when they fight so hard, but that last pin is the one that gets it, and there's only one. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
That stuff.
Then it's very short, which I liked. It was a North and Motor City Machine Guns package to promote for the match coming up at Emergence. Liked it. Did its job. Not much more to say.
It is. The one thing I do want to mention is that I love how they're using Motor City as more of a special attraction. Not only is it better for I don't know Saban's health right now, but I would imagine to keep him in the tag and a lighter schedule is beneficial for someone who's coming back to wrestling. But I would love to see more of them. It does scare me that their only next match, right? They haven't had a match since.
Fresh after Slammiversary.
Yeah. I hope it's not a one and done. But not getting ahead of myself, it was another segment that pushed it along without them being present, and it did its job. Anytime you get to hear all of them talk, I'm happy. So
yeah, both teams are like there. Maybe the North slightly edge it for me, but it's because I know more. I'm more familiar with the North.
Oh,
in terms
you're
of match. In terms of Impact run, yeah. slightly
Wow.
more familiar with the North. 'Cause I've watched.
Right.
I'm more familiar with Sabin and Shelley, but yeah.
Okay.
Then no disqualification tag team match between the Knockouts. Tasha Steelz and Kira Hogan defeat the Death Machines,
Yeah.
Havoc and Nevaeh. Yeah, we'll go for that.
Little good match. Did its point. Tasha came out with tongs, which is lovely. That's great. It's a nice little blow off, which I hope it is. Not that I dislike either tag team, but I think that's the point: is that they are tag teams. No one seems weak with this finish, and they can now go their separate ways and feud with other knockout tag teams. And this is how, not to throw dirt, but this is how you are supposed to build for a new title or tournament. Okay, we're building these knockouts as viable tag teams. From entrance to look to segments, they're together. Do we know what the outcome will be? No. Am I hoping this is just a blow off to that next one? For sure, yeah. So, unfortunately, even though the right people won, I'm going to go in the middle right now. And that's only because the match wasn't a banger by any means. It was good. It was quality. But I'm more nervous about if they continue or they're venturing off. And I really hope they're venturing off. But nice little thing to push both of them, to get them both on the show, on the main show, not the YouTube. Anyways, the knockouts are, I'm going to say it now, especially after all this stuff going on in all the other companies, the knockouts are the best women's division in all of wrestling.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
In stuff like this, where you can have viable challengers that barely get time. Kimberly, you could tell me tomorrow she gets a title shot, and I believe you. Jordan could take the title off Deonna. Deonna could keep the title. These girls can win the knock. They're not interchangeable. They're not replaceable, but they're all serving their purpose and doing their part. So I love these knockouts. I think it's good for that, and I hope it leads to tag titles for Tasha and Kiera, excuse me.
Yeah. I'm there with you. I mean, match was fine. I hope, because now they've had the no DQ match, it's like, where to go now?
Right.
It has to be that's it, over, this feud's done, until a few months down the line where they just happen to clash and meet each other in the ring one time.
Right.
Maybe in the tag titles, but yeah. I've got a middle.
Same.
Yeah, and obviously I'm a huge fan of all four. Nevaeh, for me, probably my favorite in that match.
Yeah.
I really high on Nevaeh. Although I did see a lot of complaining online that you bring Nevaeh in just to make Havoc and Nevaeh job out to a nobody team.
Did they pick up the wins a lot? They always have
hardly jobbing out when you're like that close to winning.
Yeah.
And the heels do their job of picking up a cheap victory. Anywho, moving on. Then just a short, quick thing with Moose and EC3, mainly with EC3, putting on the wall, saying that he's coming after the TNA title, but he's coming after what Moose represents.
Yeah.
I liked it. I say every week, anytime I get EC3 on my screen, can't complain.
Right.
Moose right now is one of the best characters in wrestling.
I agree.
EC3, this whole controlling narrative, free EC3 or this.
Yeah. And
slightly.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was that?
I just started to panic when he said, "I'm not here to call Impact home."
Yeah, I was just gonna bring that up.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I'm gonna go here, and the reason I'm going in the middle is exactly what you said. I understand that he might go. Okay? From what he's been dropping hints of, he's just there to lead us past, and then he can move on to the future, probably after COVID ends or whatever it may be. The problem I have with that is for someone like me, or obviously you as well, is that it instantly takes our mind off the promo and segment, and it takes it to, wait, is he leaving? Is he going to leave? I don't want that feeling with EC3. I hope he stays. But obviously, EC3 isn't showing all his cards. We don't know where they may fall, or where he goes, or what he does, even in Impact. All we know is that he's trying to destroy the TNA title, and it brought him to Moose. Now, if Moose is his only goal or thing he needs to conquer, a mountain he needs to climb, then that would say he has no other feud worth his time, which kind of scares me. But as far as the segment, I agree with you. Anytime we get EC3 on there, it's a plus. It's a plus segment. I don't know if it was on there, but obviously because I missed a little bit this. Moose's reaction as far as him doing his own brick.
Oh yeah, it was on Instagram. Yes.
Was that on social media only, or was that on the show?
Yeah, I saw it on his Instagram.
Oh, okay. Oh, that was brilliant.
Yeah.
I like that. It's showing a different side of Moose, and EC3 is really helping push that and bring that out of him. Yeah, no, obviously there's not much we could more talk about. Just I think we're on the same page as far as it's hard to focus when you're worried about where they're going, or they keep rubbing in your face that maybe this isn't his home. I don't want to,
like,
there's a lot of people that don't have homes. Not Brian Myers, I guess he does, but Heath doesn't have a home technically. Good brother. So maybe there's more to it. We'll see. I do want to say that the retribution thing that's going on in WWE, I don't know if you follow whatsoever. Guys in hoods.
attacking
Things, attacking the establishment, creating chaos. Interesting. I don't know if that will stop Impact for pushing what they were going to do with EC3, if that has anything to do with it. But obviously, we saw him marching to Impact via railroad, walking with a bunch of hooded characters. So I hope it doesn't ruin anything. But that's what I kind of went with. I was like, oh, wait, the hood guy, he came here marching for a reason. And so we'll see. But yeah, something to think about. Food for thought.
Yeah, middle for me, because of the whole. This is not here to call Impact my home. Don't like that.
I don't. Would you prefer? I'm sorry, but would you prefer he not lie to us? But if that's the case, if the case is he's here to work these amount of dates and do this program at Moose, and then go elsewhere, would you like him to not mention it, or do you want him to hint at it like that? Does it break it down for you now when he finally leaves? You're like, okay, I'm not as upset as if he just went.
I honestly don't know, because I know they've done this thing before, but it was mainly used as comedy when during Feast or Fired, during the reveal. He's doing an interview, everyone walking by saying, he's fired, he's fired, he's fired. Also, we knew where he was going because he showed up at NXT beforehand. He'd actually been on NXT, appeared in the crowd at NXT before. So I was prepared then, but I'm wherever he ends up, it'll probably, if he does go, he probably will be AEW. Will he fit in there well? Will it be the same case all over again?
I mean, it'll be like that Spider-Man meme with him and MJF. Or what is it? They point at each other. Yeah. He has an ability be successful wherever as long as he's allowed to be himself. So obviously there will be opportunity outside of this for him, but I hope Impact is his home.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. Then just it was supposed to be a match, but was interrupted by the Good Brothers. Suicide versus Dez. Wasn't really much talk about. Barely any offense before the Good Brothers came out and made their point.
Yeah, we kind of alluded to this obviously and didn't want to jump, but now we could come full circle with it. Obviously the Rascals aren't going to just take this sitting down. They're not going to be, just the pothead guys who don't show up and let things go. They're not going to they're not going to let this go. They're going to do, even when Moose stepped up to them, they were scared back in the day, but they did what they did. And faced them or whatever happened. I forgot. That was so long ago. But it's been so long. But the match, obviously, what are we going to give it? 0. You can't give it any stars. It wasn't even a match. There's no result, right? But it was cool to see. We don't really have many no contests in Impact.
Yeah.
It's a little bit rare. I thought it continued, no pun intended, the narrative of the Good Brothers, of that Twitter, hey, we don't care about anyone else. We're here for ourselves, real NWO type shit. And then the Hall and Nash thing makes sense. Where is it going? I don't know. In the back of my head, I still think they're in on it with Ace, but it just doesn't make sense. But I think we're teasing the heel run for them because eventually we're going to get a tweener group with them. Where that falls or who it's with, I don't know. But the good thing about this match is it continues 3 different entities' storylines. Obviously, you got Suicide, who now the Rascals and them were joking and were smoking with and trying to figure out who he is and whatever. So both of that, Suicide has something to, go from there, especially with Moose, if that's the case. The Rascals can get a little bit of push from this as far as not only focus because they're facing the Good Brothers, or what I imagine will. Hey, Frank. Imagine they'll face the Good Brothers, which I think will be that second team, obviously after Reno Scum, to face them. But I think it gives everyone involved something to do. It gives another layer to the Good Brothers and what they're going to become. So I'm all for it. I liked it, even though it was no contest, which I generally, iffy about.
Yeah, the same. I was kind of looking forward to seeing Dez versus Suicide.
Right.
But, I think the Good Brothers segment, Ace and Fulton, the match, I'm not too disappointed that the match ended how it did.
Yeah,
even though technically Dez would have won that match by DQ. Dez technically won. If he was attacked first, Suicide would have been DQ. So technically Dez won, but I won't get into that. But yeah,
that's true.
I was getting pure 90s Shawn Michaels vibes from Ace during that segment.
With the earring.
Yeah.
Ace is going to be. I see a lot of people saying they missed an opportunity to put the belt on him young. He's still young. The opportunity is still there.
Wow.
I think we could write down the amount of not gimmick changes, but the people he has reminded us of throughout the months, because it feels like since day one of him coming in, he's changed his character ever so slightly each time. And I'm really digging where he is. I dig that analogy or that similarity. Come on, Frank. This mountain lion, I swear to Lord. I'm digging where they're doing with him. I think he needs some polishing still. So, the pairing of Madmen. There, now he knocks down my camera. 2 for 2, Frankie. 2 for 2. The pairing with Madmen is helpful. And then I think him getting more opportunity to talk is helpful as well. So nice little thing there. And here, you gotta talk, 'cause my cat's breaking my
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, it's a great segment. Love big fan of the pairing of Ace and Fulton. The Good Brothers are stars. So yeah, it's thumbs up from me for what it was. It's good enough. Oh.
He keeps knocking down the thing. And I just bit my lip. What a shit combination. Go, Frank. Come on. Yeah, we really don't tell this one much to do. He's
No.
the man of the house. All right, sorry. Okay.
What's the star of the show?
It starts.
So yeah, I give thumbs up for all of it. Then let's just go straight to the main event. We thought we teased it would be EY accepting the Open Challenge, but it was the debuting Brian Myers accepting the Eddie Edwards World Championship Open Challenge opportunity. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that one. I did like that.
I missed, so we're gonna group them in together. With the Brian Myers little I'm the most professional wrestler. It's hard. One, I didn't miss his segment. I went back and I saw the promo. I did miss the beginning of the match. So was it supposed to be EY, or are we just assuming, or he was calling out EY, right?
Yeah, and early in the night, Madison Rain teased that it could be EY.
Okay.
Because obviously the World Title match was on last. EY opened up the show, so it would have been time, but I know EY was battered up from this last tapings.
Yeah, I can imagine. I'm gonna go here. Nothing against Eddie. I still dig the fighting champion thing. I really dig the open challenge. We talked about it on the podcast. Obviously, you gave us that question. I don't think it devalues the title. I think it elevates it because in my heart of hearts, Eddie is going to lose it soon. It just has for them to make him defend for so many times in a row. His body's going to break down in real life too. I get but there's a built-in storyline for him to look like a fighting good champion yet lose it soon. What that means, is it emergence? I don't know. But I like him winning again. Is it weird that Brian Myers had a package, then debuted, then lost? It's a little interesting of booking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you put him against the world champion, who's only been champion for basically 3 days at this point on TV time, real time, yeah. I can understand why he'd lose, but at least he got to have a good showing and had the longest match he's had in a long time.
That's a very good point. Because for people like me who aren't really familiar with his work, but only so much, it's good to see these things, as it was good for you to see Heath, in the Moose match. So I'm going to remain optimistic. Well, I was never optimistic about Brian Myers, but I liked the match. I thought he showed some really good stuff there. I dig the Edge-like pants. I know this is very particular, and this is a Max thing. And I'm a Knicks fan, so blue and orange to me is key. But that shit's bad. Like the design is good. I just can't take him seriously. The most professional wrestler. Now, once again, I have to give it an opportunity because I thought Johnny Swinger was going to be the shits, and lo and behold, he's one of my favorite parts. But I just don't connect right now with Brian Myers. I'm going to give it time. I'm okay with him losing because he went from a guy who had lost 300 and whatever times in a row in WWE to getting a title shot and looking good doing so in Impact. But I don't know if we erase that and just say this is a new Brian Myers, basing it solely off of what I saw in this segment and then this match, it's worth giving him a chance. There needs to be something more that gets me, and I don't know if it's the eyesore of the tire or what it is. They gave him a gimmick, the most professional, but what does that mean? What are we going to see from him? So I'm in the middle with this, primarily because I don't know where he's going, one, but two, interesting booking choice to have him lose his credibility right away.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, I'm middle.
Yeah.
I like the way they brought him in. Maybe it shouldn't have been for the world title, but like that, because obviously he'd been teasers for weeks and weeks since Slammiversary, and
Right.
we mentioned it on the podcast that obviously on the hot topics, Brian Myers coming soon. No one knew when, but I like the fact that we actually saw him talk this week on the promo and then come in. Can I see him getting another world title opportunity after this? No, if I'm honest. But it's a strong way to bring him in. No, I can't see him getting another title shot. Maybe maybe if this home and home series versus AEW and Impact comes to light, and we can maybe see Matt Cardona and Brian Myers having a tag title shot. I don't know, but
yeah, a lot of mention of that, right? A lot of Matt Cardona, of mention there, which, yeah, for me, but them together is better than them alone for me, at least. I hope I'm proven wrong. I would be so happy that he is a main eventer, but I just don't. I'm with you there. I just right now at this moment, from what I saw, don't think he's there yet. And obviously, it's 3 weeks of build of like vignettes of this much of his face. So it'll be interesting to see where they go from there. I thought it'd be funny if they kept doing vignettes for like months. And then he finally comes out and does something. But they have a route in mind for him, and we'll see where it goes. I'll be semi-optimistic about it. But for me, it's middle of the road.
Yeah, I agree. Even though those vignettes felt like they were going on for months.
It's fair enough.
It's they're over, so that's something.
Fair enough.
So that's the show. Want to give us your moment of the week match segment?
Yeah, really didn't think too far into that actually. I have everything else written down, but I'm gonna have to say it's, even though it was a part, I'm gonna say Deonna announcement with the Jordan and Kimber thing.
Okay.
Because once again, it's solidifying that this is the best women's division, if not also the best knockouts in roster that we've had, maybe collectively, at once. So really stoked about where it goes. It just gives me more confidence in that, and it gives me. We talked about it on the podcast. You mentioned, do we still do this tag team tournament? Because AEW, yeah, like Max said, you don't let it dictate what you do. And this episode kind of made me feel like they're not going to, because they're giving the women such a spotlight that it can only go, I feel, up and more up. So I think that's my thing. Just the booking of the knockouts is what I took out of this episode.
Yeah. So I had certain thing in mind as my moment of the week, but it kept changing depending on which segment was on. I think I have to go with, for me, the match announcement of the challenge from Deonna.
Oh, good.
The only thing that really popped me, and got me excited for what's coming up. The only thing that made me really say yes.
Yeah, that's fair, and I agree with you there. I anytime you could get someone to say yes or celebrate or pop during a weekly television broadcast, let alone one that they tape within 3 days or 2 days, whatever it is just brilliant. And for them to announce that unexpectedly, big pop moment. So I'm glad we're on the same page with that. That's pretty dope. Yeah, it's hard to look away from. It's hard
Right.
not to, when you talk about this to say, oh yeah, like let me get to Dion, because it's something that I look for, and obviously knowing now you do too. It's something we look forward to. These knockouts are a big part of the show, and obviously we're going to go to power rankings after we wrap this up. But you'll see that for other fans, it's a big part of the show for them as well. And we set a record as far as how long we've been doing this power rankings we have the most women since the beginning of this knockouts on the rankings that we've ever had at once. And that goes to show, it just backs everything up. So
Yeah,
well done.
Yeah, it's just a testament to how
Yes.
far it's gone and how well everything's doing.
That's how you
Yeah.
build a division.
Exactly. Don't just throw random teams together and put them on YouTube. Anywho, so that was
Different thing.
speaks that what went down. See, like we always say, if you agree with our thoughts, great. If you don't, you know the comments are. Let us know.
Yeah.
Find episode 19 of the podcast, The Cool Factor. I wonder how I came up with that name.
I wonder.
Let's find it right here. Yeah.
I
Find us
don't really
at TN Podcast. We're here and everywhere. You can find us.
Just follow all our shit. Press play. Yeah, I'm there with you as far as just, guys, keep it up. We're at 85 subscribers, which doesn't seem much to the average folk. But for us, it's been a big game these past weeks. And we're almost near 100, so we could go live with you guys and maybe do this. It'll be hard for us to do live since you watch on Wednesdays and I'm at the mercy of Twitch. But it's fun to talk about. I'm happy to do this. I'm excited. But once again, if you guys do want to join and be on this, or even like you said, just write and tell us how crappy our opinions are, how great they are, whatever you feel. We're up for it. We're not, we don't take it personally. We're excited and to debate it and talk about it and be honest. For me, yes, episode 19, Cool Factor of the Talking Nonsense About Impact Wrestling podcast. My turn to say it. There we go. It has like a nice,
Yeah.
I feel like Eli Drake. So yeah, go check that. We obviously announced the unboxing show, This Old Wrestling Shit, which will actually be out next week if all goes as well as planned. And then we almost kind of talked about let's not spoil it. We'll get to the contest that we'll be having soon, where you can enjoy some free crates as well for you guys, the audience. So look forward to the power rankings right after this. Please join the wrestling committee, our wrestling ranking committee. Really simple. You get a DM in our group once a week. You list it, your top 10. It's all you have to do. Nothing else. So please do that. Of course, join us on Facebook. Craig's killing it on there and getting more interactions. And yeah, that's what I got. Plug.
Yeah. I think that's pretty much it. Apologies if I sound a bit quieter than normal, but I have my sleeping nephew just right in front of me, so I'm trying to. And he's stirred a few times during this video, so if you notice me looking away,
that's what it was.
Yeah. So see you all next week. Thanks for tuning in. See you all next week.
Bye, guys.